American News, author of Citizens for Trump, veteran, Navy intelligence officer, breaking down the news today. So I want to make sure that everybody saw my report on Twitter earlier today, but I figured I'd do a Periscope to break down some of this for all you guys so you can understand exactly what was going on and can understand exactly how this whole thing works, all right? Everybody saw Kim Strassel's report yesterday in the Wall Street Journal, and I want to know, did you watch her on Fox earlier today? Did you watch her on Fox earlier today? And let me explain why it's very important. What I told you guys before is, I don't think there was specifically a source planted within the campaign. What I think happened, if you look, go back and look, what I told you, this first came out, when this all first came out, go look at my initial tweet when I read it, okay? I said, I don't think there's a source within the campaign, because if there was, Rosenstein would never have admitted it, that Rosenstein never would have even talked about this source. This is all about a smokescreen, okay? This is all a smokescreen to get Rosenstein to not have to let out the information on these documents, because Rosenstein knows that this is, I talked to one of my sources earlier today, this is Rosenstein's Alamo. He knows that if those documents come out, that he's going to be exposed. That he, who's been in the center of letting this operation go forward, of letting this entire operation go forward, even after Trump got into office, okay? Rosenstein is the one who signed off on the FISA warrant. Rosenstein is the one who has the connections to all of these people back when he was in Maryland. Who even recommended Rosenstein to President Trump, all right? These are the real questions that they want you asking, all right? That's what's going on, because when this comes out about what Rosenstein did, the fact that there were active measures being used against the Trump campaign, against the transition team, and potentially even after Trump got into office. That's what's really going on here, people. That's what I'm trying to explain. That's what I've been trying to explain, all right? Comey started it. Comey authorized it at first, and Rosenstein has been keeping the game going. Rosenstein's been keeping it all going out, all right? So you need to understand, this is not about just one source. This is about an operation that was done, that was authorized, an operation that was being run on the Trump campaign, that continued, that intensified after Trump won the election, and then that even continued after Trump took office, because Rosenstein authorized it. When you saw his name on that FISA warrant, that was a clue. And believe you me, folks, believe you me, I would be willing to bet 1,000 Bitcoins, that all of these names are in the Carter Page FISA warrant. All of these names. And here's a name that you're probably going to hear. Stefan Halper. Stefan Halper, who met with Page and Papadopoulos throughout the campaign under false pretenses. Stefan Halper, who we know worked with Hackett, who we know has ties to CIA, has ties to the Bush family, has ties to former administrations. Why is he meeting with Trump campaign officials? We know he met with Papadopoulos. We know he met with Page, all right? Now look, he was doing what is called source validation. It is a counterintelligence investigation. That's what you do. They're using human intelligence in a CIA investigation to try, what were they trying to validate? Comey told you this. Comey told you this. Who was the third official? Who was the third Trump official? Who was the third Trump official that they met with, right? We know he met with two, and there was a third Trump official who said he didn't want to be named. Well, who is the third Trump official that's named in the dossier? That's all you need to know. That's all you need to worry about. Who is the third Trump official that was named in the dossier? Then you will know who is the third Trump associate that met with Stefan Halper. Who was the third one, right? Exactly, Michael Cohen. Michael Cohen, who we were told went to Prague. Michael Cohen, who admitted to making some trips to Europe during 2016, but not to Prague. Jake Tapper is the one who came out and admitted that it was the wrong Michael Cohen, that Michael Cohen was never in Prague, and that government sources back that up. So how did they get the wrong Michael Cohen? Were there 2 and 3 and 4 different Michael Cohens now in the Avenatti dossier that's out there? So you got the Avenatti dossier and the Steele dossier. Where are all these dossiers coming from? These are the questions you need to start asking. Where are all the dossiers coming from? Who is leaking all of this information to Christopher Steele of Orbis? Why were they meeting Alexander Downer, Larry Sussman? Larry Sussman, by the way, on the board of Hacklet. There's Fusion GPS in America, and there's Hacklet in the UK. It's like the UK version of Fusion GPS, all right? Larry Sussman is on the board of Hacklet. Alexander Downer was on the board of Hacklet. Halper is tied to Hacklet. They're all tied to Hacklet. You understand? Mifsud is tied to Hacklet, who supposedly started all of this back in March 2016 with Papadopoulos. And Papadopoulos, he was a patsy. I'm sorry, he was a patsy. I'm going to say it. George, I think you're a nice guy. You have a very lovely wife, but you were a patsy. You got played. This is what they do. It's called a dangle. It's called a dangle. It is called a dangle. This is CI 101. It's a dangle. Oh, come on, we'll give you some money. Just come meet with us and just write a paper about, these topics. And by the way, do you know anything about Russia and emails and all this? He said, well, yeah, I heard about it from Joseph Mifsud. Aha! The source reported he was offered email. You see how it works? You see how it works? The source reported. Well, if you set it up, yeah, we know the source reported that because you're the one that set up the source in the first place. So you're reporting on yourself. You're validating yourself. You set up the operation, and now you're vetting yourself. You're validating yourself, okay? That's what happened here, folks. We're looking at a confluence of private intelligence firms like Hacklet. Look, and guys, I know people who work at firms like this. I know people, I've been offered opportunities to work at firms like this, to use the tools that I learned when I was in the intelligence community to conduct. And look, what they did was legal, okay? What they did, I'm not saying what they did was illegal, all right? I want you to understand that. They did this with proper authorities under FBI CI authorities. But when you have these guys who Roger Stone, and I asked Roger Stone about this because Roger Stone, you guys know I know Roger, he worked with Stefan Halper on the Reagan campaign in 1980. So Roger worked with Stefan Halper because Roger was a Reagan guy. But Stefan Halper was there because Reagan had him on the campaign, but he wasn't a Reagan guy, he was a Bush guy. And Bush had a cell. Bush had a cell of CIA-tied operatives working for him that Roger referred to as the dirty tricks staff. And look, if Roger Stone is calling someone dirty tricks, you know that they are a dirty trickster, all right? And I asked Roger about this, he confirmed. He said, yes, Jack, absolutely. Stefan Halper is a bad actor. This is not someone you would ever want to trust in terms of their information because of who he is. Now, Hacklet. I mentioned a name before, Larry Summers. Larry Summers, he's known as the vacuum cleaner. Or excuse me, Larry Sussman, not Larry Summers. Larry Sussman, he's known as the vacuum cleaner. Why is he called the vacuum cleaner, you ask? I'll tell you. Because Larry Sussman was a major Democrat donor. He's on the board of this organization. He raised over $240 million. And who did he raise it for, you ask? None other than John Kerry. The same John Kerry who was Secretary of State when all of this was going on. Now, do you remember when Devin Nunes told us, and when American News broke the story, Devin Nunes told us that there was a back channel that was set up between the State Department and a UK source. Excuse me, he said a Five Eyes source, but most likely UK, right? Outside of official channels. Folks, we've discovered the back channel. We've discovered what Nunes was trying to tell us. Now, Nunes can't tell us this yet, and here's why. Because he's seen the classified information, but he's trying to get it unredacted, and they refuse to unredact it because it will tell you about what all was going on. It'll tell you who the source was, and more importantly, it'll tell you what Rosenstein was up to in all of this. Rosenstein, this is his Alamo. That is why he is fighting tooth and nail to protect this information. Because if this gets out, he's done. He's in the unemployment line, all right? And there are people in the White House, Umit Dillon, Mike Berry on the NSC staff, that are telling the president, oh, you've got to go along with it, sir. You've got to go along with Rosenstein. By the way, Umit Dillon used to work for James Comey. Mike Berry used to work for John Brennan and Vickers. So why are they telling the president that we can't release these documents and he needs to go along? Because they know that their former bosses are going to be implicated in this. Folks, these are the Obama holdovers that we've been telling you about for so long. This is the politicization of the intelligence services, of the deep state community that we've told you about for so long. Who do you think pulled my security clearance in early 2017 when all of this was going on? Why do you think they did that to me? Because they knew that if I had my clearance at the time, that I would have gone white hat on them and that I would have exposed all of what they were doing. Well, that didn't work. So I had to bide my time. But I figured it out even without my security clearance. They tried to shut me up. They tried to slow me down. I'm on to you now, guys. On to you now. You thought you could stop Posobiec. You can't stop Posobiec. So folks, that's what we're looking at right now. But I'll tell you what, I don't have a lot of time to do this because, what can I say? I'm gonna go be a dad here in a couple of days. I'm very excited about that. We are due on Sunday. We're due on Sunday, and this is the